Hello, Claire Isaac.
Hello, Lisa Sinclair from Sydney, Australia.
And hello, Claire Isaac, also from the Sydney, Australia.
Nice to have you back in the city.
Oh, that's right, because where was I last week? I was in Queensland.
Yes, and even though I still can't see you, it's nice to see you in a different spot.
Yay! I'm waving at you now. Yes, we're back in Sydney, and it's quite nice to be home, I have to say.
Yeah.
After 6.5 weeks away from your own home is enough for me, little Cancerian.
Yeah, you crawl back into your shell.
Yes, and especially in lockdown, it's like I don't have to see anyone still. Although I am going to have a picnic this weekend. Are you?
Yay. I haven't thought about it, but maybe, yeah.
Well, let's record a podcast, shall we?
Let's.
All right, I'll tell you what we've got on the list this week, Claire.
All right.
We're going to have a good old chat about the Met Gala.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, because it raised all
happened.
sorts of issues.
It did. People were angry. They were outraged.
Yes, all sorts. We've got some culture club. And we've got some big questions.
Yeah.
Also, some crying times.
It's my party and I cry if I want to. Sorry.
Yes. And then some of the questions aren't big questions, but they are questions, if that makes sense. Little questions.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, let's start, Claire, with... So the Met Gala happened this week, and I think because we're all so starved of red carpets that it was like so exciting.
We put a lot of faith in it to kind of give us everything we required from the red carpet.
Yeah,
and
I reckon it delivered.
It delivered, and and then it also didn't deliver because I feel like they were all dressed up in kind of like
stupid.
Yeah, it's like they decided to just go one step further than normal.
One step beyond. Yeah, there was a lot of absolute crazy in there, wasn't there?
I think when Kim Kardashian turns up in black Balenciaga,
unbelievable,
head to toe, including a mask, so she's actually not. You can't see it's her. You just have.
Was she making a statement? I don't know.
Look, I think I've read a whole bunch of stuff about. Very many statements she could have been making, but no one actually knows.
No, okay. So, yeah, let's go with no.
So,
it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because there were so many over 50s on the red carpet. And also
none of them have been out, have they? Bless them. They've all had to get out.
And then the VMAs... also, the two standouts that everyone was talking about was J-Lo and Madonna.
Yeah.
So the over 50s have sort of been ruling the red carpet, haven't they?
They have. So at the Met Gala, there was Debbie Harry.
Yeah, she looked fantastic.
Who looked amazing. There was J-Lo, who looked terrible in a brown Ralph Lauren. Was it Ralph Lauren?
Like a cowboy
nod. I thought it was awful.
Because the theme was Americana or American or something. Yeah.
So Debbie was in like the Stars and Stripes kind of dress thing with a big flouncy
she had a denim jacket and then a red and white like crinoline.
Yeah, it was
very
amazing. Madonna was at the VMAs in, bondage gear. There's a surprise.
Yeah.
It's a day ending in Y. Madonna's in bondage gear.
Yes, but it started a bit of a chatter on our PDAs, which is our online-y Facebook-y group, didn't it?
It did.
I've spent a lot of time recently with ladies in their sort of late 70s, early 80s, and this little group of ladies, they all dress so beautifully, very stylish, very nice, always put together, and I think there's a lot to aspire to there. They obviously haven't had any work done, it's just not their thing.
Not that generation.
Lovely hair, always have their hair done.
Yeah.
And just beautifully put together. And then, they don't mind spending a bit of money on clothes still, and good shoes and good clothes.
And they look after them too, so that even if they've had them for a long time, they keep them nicely, don't they? That's the other thing that we don't do, because we've got such throwaway stuff.
Yes.
I mentioned that show a few weeks ago, The End, on Foxtel, which is a bit old. It's been on it's a couple of years old now, but I'm still in the midst of watching it, and Noni Hazelhurst is in it, and I think she's another good poster girl for being older and just looking like your age, and just, you know, she just, and in this in particular, she's amazing. She's like a real free spirit, and she's just all sort of drinks a lot and has parties and really enjoys herself. And that's what I got from that show, actually, is that you can still have a really full and interesting and fun life, and, you know, they're naughty and they're, you know, it's sort of bucks that idea that you have to be J-Lo and be all strict about having one egg white a day or whatever to stay looking like a 30-year-old.
J-Lo just looks exhausting to me.
It is exhausting, and I also don't really see the point. I don't know why she's doing it, because there's no real end to that, you know. Like, it's like Madonna, you kind of go, right, you're 63, you've made yourself into a cartoon character, and that's kind of what your thing is, right? She's made herself into this sort of puffy faced buxom caricature of what she used to be, maybe, and she probably is aware of that a little bit. She's quite sort of savvy, whereas I think J-Lo is just determined to not age, but I don't really see to what end.
Yes, and I suppose the thing about all the people we see on the red carpet is that by their nature and by the industry that they work in, they're going to be invested in all the youthening treatments, aren't they? And they're sort of almost forced to do it by the industry. Whereas I think out in the real world, there's probably lots of really fantastic role models who are older without having to sort of succumb to all the pressures and stuff.
Actually, I agree. And I feel like also that most women know that as well. Like, it's fine. Like, I think we look at J-Lo, and I don't think there's any way in the world that I could get there.
No, Claire.
You know, for many, many reasons.
Just absolutely impossible.
I could easily be Helen Mirren, for example, with a bit of work and a stylist and a good hairdresser, and, you know, and maybe a gym membership. You know, like, there's things I could do to sort of age in that way, but there's nothing I could do to age like J-Lo is going to age, or like Madonna's going to age, or, you know, like, it's just not me. I do think Debbie Harry is aging well. I mean, you know, you got to remember there's men like Keith Richard out there who've been pickled, you know, and he's like in his 70s, and he's just ageless as well. It's just she's had a huge life. Sometimes I think that can stop you aging in a way. Like, it can kind of, it keeps you looking the way you did, and maybe you don't really look like that, but that's what you appear to look like to us in some way.
There was an article in the Telegraph in the UK, and it really got my goat, Claire.
It did. It was weird, wasn't it?
17 style suggestions for 60-year-olds who want to look better, not younger.
Yeah.
And it really got on my wick. It was like...
It was just this idea of better makes me really cranky as well.
Well, also, it was just so, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. It's like, you know what, do what you like. Wear the wrong trousers, you know.
It's also very middle class, and kind of, and
it
presumed that you had
lot of money.
Like getting your teeth whitened, not having old shoes and things.
Yeah. There was this bit, number 16 was things you can't do past 40, let alone 60, right? Mm-hmm. Grunge, disagree. Messy hair, disagree. Mom jeans, maybe. Irony, disagree. Aubergine hair, whatever. Cheap tat jewellery, why not? Heavy, wonky eyeliner.
Oh, that's me out then.
Neglected nails and worse toenails. I mean, what can you do in lockdown? Spaghetti straps, sheer tights, mini skirts with bare legs. I mean, tell that to Elle.
Yeah.
And boho. And it's like, well, boho, no, you know, you can do what you like.
I say boho, yo.
Yeah, it just annoyed me a little bit. The things they say, the best fashion investments to make in your 60s included white trainers, a good pair of jeans, a classic watch. Well, that's just a load of absolute horse bollocks, isn't it? I have to say one of the funniest things. I'll save it for what's made me laugh, Claire.
Okay.
I'll write a note, though.
Right. Write yourself a note, because you'll forget.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, but one of the things you did like in that story that made me angry was about the grey hair.
Well, it just said you've got to commit to grey hair, all or nothing, blitz or cultivate. So you've either got to decide you don't want grey hair and dye it religiously, or you've got to cultivate your grey hair and live with it and you know, own it. I'm still I'm on the fence, you know. I've got splinters in my ass, as they like to say.
Oh gosh.
Because I go from wanting to go grey to then having greys around my temples and going, oh no, and having to immediately colour my hair. So not there yet.
Not there yet. All right. Well, listen, please make sure you recap every week we are with your grey journey. Your grey-volution.
I am the most boring woman. Sorry.
And just on J-Lo, I've decided she gives me the shit, but I do love Bennifer.
Look, I love Bennifer too. And now I'm worried, though, because I keep reading things that people are saying that it's just a publicity stunt for the movie.
Oh, it's so staged. I mean, all the red carpet stuff is so ridiculously staged.
I mean, they always were really staged, though, weren't they?
They were.
That was the whole thing.
She's given him such a glow up, though, hasn't she?
She has, and for that we thank her. He's back to being Affleck of old. He's hot again.
Yes.
He's slimmed down. He's lost his dad bod. He's lost his, you know.
He's done his fake tan.
Yeah, he's got his tan on. He's got his sharp suits on. I mean,
you can tell he's feeling good as well, can't you?
Yeah, and why wouldn't he? You know, he's got the hottest woman in the world on his arm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I like it because I think it's totally Hollywood, and coming from magazines like you, it would just excite me beyond belief because I'd be writing stories and loving every second of it.
And also, there's just no one else around, is there? I mean, I liked, is it Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes, but they're very young. They're very young.
They are very angry.
There's no one fun around to sort of...
I don't know if I could pick them
out. As the
young
people say, I ship them.
Yes. I don't know if I'd pick them out of a lineup. You know who I think I ship for different... No, I don't ship them. I hate them. But I'm sort of fascinated is Kourtney Kardashian and her man.
Oh, yes.
Is it Machine Gun Kelly or is it the other one?
No, it's the other one.
Yeah.
She's with, the guy from Blink someone, isn't she?
And on that note...
I agree. I absolutely love their antics. It's so fun.
All right,
she looks like she's having a good time, doesn't she?
On that note, let's move on.
Let's do some Culture Club.
Culture Club.
Have you been listening to any Blink, whoever they are, Claire?
I don't think he's Blink 182. I think he's a different band, but I can't remember.
Well, look, you talk about Vigil, and I'll look it up.
Well, I'm watching old people's television, which is Vigil, which is on... What's it on? Is that on Foxtel?
On Foxtel, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't finished. It's still going. It's a series. It's a British series. It's a true crime. I mean, not true crime. It's a crime show. If you like all the crime shows, you'll love it. It's set on a submarine. So basically someone gets killed on a submarine, and Suran Jones, who is of course in everything in the UK, is a police detective who gets put on the submarine to find out who did it. And Rose Leslie is in it. She plays her...
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's beautiful actually.
She was lovely on the red carpet.
I think she must be pregnant in this show because she wears a lot of flowy shirts.
Okay.
But she plays her love interest / colleague. But there's a whole story there because her male partner, and has died in a accident that you see in the first episode, and she has a fear of going underwater, and then she's stuck in this submarine for a long time, trying to work out what went on, what they're hiding, what the Ministry of Defence are hiding, what the Navy are hiding. Whether there's Russian involvement.
Because I thought it sounded really boring.
It's not boring.
Submarine.
No, it's good.
Okay.
And it's because it's in a submarine, it is very claustrophobic, and that sort of adds to the tension.
Does she speak with that sort of quite intense, quite pursed lip way that she does?
Quite pursed, yes.
Yeah. But I loved her in Doctor.
Yeah, she's good.
Dr. Foster. Dr. Foster she was.
She was in Blink 182. I highly recommend. I mean, everyone sort of said it's a bit boring and stuff, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm liking watching it, and that's not something I say often.
How many out of 5?
I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I'm not all, you know.
I'm not rushing to that then. Mm-hmm. What about your new Sally Rooney book?
Yeah, I read that Beautiful World, Where Are You?
I've read some good reviews.
It's really good, actually. Now, I read a whole lot of stuff about her before I read it, and people were getting the shits with her being white and Irish and writing about white Irish people.
Well, that's all right. What's wrong with that?
I know. That's you write about what you know, right? And also, you shouldn't be, trying to write about things you don't know about. That's where you get into trouble as well.
Then you get in trouble, don't you? Like American Dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is different from conversations with friends and normal people. It's sort of written in different ways. Like there's letters that between these two girls who've grown up together. One of them's a very successful writer, and one of them is like a book writer, and one of them is a literature magazine editor who makes no money at all. And it's just them and their friend, male friend, who they've all been friends for a long time, and kind of it's just the very tangled relationship that the three of them have, adding in the mix a new boyfriend that she's met on Tinder. And it's kind of, I feel like it's probably a bit autobiographical. I mean, she's married, but I feel like there's some stuff about her friends in there. It's good. I really enjoyed it. It was a page turner.
How long did it take you to read it?
It took me about 3 nights in bed.
Oh, all right. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, highly recommend that one. I'd give that one a 4.5 out of 5 page turns.
All right. I read the new Leanne Moriarty.
Yes, I'm excited about that. Is it good?
Oh, you won't like it.
Damn it.
I don't think you'll like it. Apples Never Fall, it's called.
Yeah.
It's like a family saga. I think it's a bit too family saga-ish for you.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought I'd read that it was a bit of a whodunit or a...
Oh, there is that element to it. It's about a family and they're all tennis players, and the mum and dad had this tennis school. The tennis stuff, I've started off thinking, oh, why do I care about this? But it does become quite relevant. And there's 4 grown-up children, all with their own issues, and then the mum goes missing. And
that's right. And the dad they think the dad did it or whatever. That's the premise.
And it's fine. It's a page turner. I read it. I don't think you'd like it, to be honest. I wonder if I wonder if Nicole will be making it into a TV show or not.
I think we can suggest she'll be filming it as we speak. I wonder who'll play the main character.
It's a bit silly. It gets a bit silly, to be honest. But it's all right. I would give it 4 out of 5.
All right, that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
And then I'm calling it, I found the show of the year.
Yes.
It's called Reservation Dogs. It's written by Taika Waititi and Sterling Harjo, who is a Native American guy who's done a few films. And it is just, if you liked Hunt for the Wilder People and Boy and all those beautiful Taika movies in New Zealand about the Maori culture and little, kids and stuff, it's like that. But it's set on reservation land in Oklahoma. It's a gang of kids. It's just honestly, it's so funny, it's so heartfelt, it's so beautiful, it's really illuminating, but not in a preachy way. It's like, seriously, like I can't stop watching it. We just love every second of it.
That sounds
so great. It's like really, it's very Taika Waititi. You know how he makes things really sort of funny and kind of a bit kooky, but at the same time really touching. And they have a lot of insight into their own lives, so they're quite self-aware often as well. It's so beautifully done. I highly recommend it. It's on Foxtel. And the new episodes come out every Monday. He is a genius. Like Taika Waititi is a genius, I reckon.
Now, just out of interest, I asked you today because I thought this was on Disney. And it wasn't. It was on Foxtel. How many streaming services do you have now in your household?
Well, we have Binge, Amazon Prime, Stan, Apple TV. Is that it?
Netflix.
5. And then ABC iView, all those ones as well.
So you pay for 5?
Yeah, I pay for 5. I am really stupid, probably, to do that, but I like to have a lot of things to watch.
We have got Netflix, Stan, Apple TV, which I've got free because I bought Apple stuff this year. I haven't got Amazon Prime at the moment. And haven't got Disney. I have had Disney in the past. I have had Hey You, but I got rid of Hey You.
Are you watching are you watching Nine Perfect Strangers on Amazon Prime? No, you're not then.
No, because I haven't got it. I started watching it in Queensland because I had it up there.
Yes,
but I didn't love it so much that I felt I had to go and get Amazon Prime again just to watch it.
No, fair enough.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because I bet you added up how much you were spending on TV. But then what else are you meant to do at the moment? That's all we do is watch TV.
Yeah, I feel like, and also, you know, you've got to have stuff to talk about to people.
I know.
What else are we going to talk about?
What else are you going to talk about?
People say, what have you been watching?
When you're watching all this TV, Claire.
Yes, Lisa.
Do you ever have a glass of wine?
Look, I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is yes.
Yes. And where do you get your wine from, Claire?
Well, I mean, you know, I get it anywhere, but I have joined a wine club. It's called Good Pear Days. It's not really a wine club in the old sense, but like, you know, they pick 4 bottles of wine or 3 bottles of wine and send them to you. And I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it, even though, you know, shouldn't drink that much, all that stuff.
Whatever it is, yeah.
You know, all the health reasons. But it's actually really cool. I ordered 3 bottles of wine. I chose ones that were like $23 or whatever so that I wasn't spending a fortune, but I just wanted to try different wines.
How does it work? What do you mean?
You tell them you tell them the kind of things you like. So you do a questionnaire and it will say, do you like melon or do you like chocolate or whatever, you know, and you go through all the things. And then you can choose, they'll match you with wines that they think you'll like. And then if you don't like them, you tell them and their algorithm must, you know, pinpoint the kind of flavours that you like. So they'll send you wines that you'll like, but they'll let you try different things.
You see, I would have said from the name of it, Good Pear Days, that they were telling you sending you wine to have with your curry or something.
Well, I think that's on it as well. That's part of it as well. Like you can say what foods you like to eat and things, so that they'll match all that. So it's just clever. And you can get once a month, a box once a month or whatever, and you can stop at any time. It's not an ad. I paid. I just
not an ad.
Yeah, I just thought it was a good thing to do while I was here in lockdown. You know, drinking anyway, may as well get something interesting. And I sent you one of the wines already and said you should try this. It's yummy.
Yeah, Riesling.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. All right, that sounds fun.
Big Fine Girl, which I thought was kind of appropriate for both of us, to be honest.
What's it called?
Big Fine Girl.
All right, bloody hell. Moving from wine to coffee.
Yes.
Brad Pitt, Claire, has done this ridiculous ad for one of the coffee brands. I don't even know. What was it? DeLonghi?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is on his motorbike and drinking coffee and looking insanely hot.
He is. For a man of 63, talking about not looking your age. Yeah.
Is he 63? My God.
I don't know, maybe he's not 63.
And then you said, big question.
Yes.
Is it wrong to like him now? And I assume that you're saying that because of the whole custody battle.
Oh, he's 57. I do take it back. He was born in 1963. Okay. Still, 57 is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Through all the custody battle, yeah, and there's lots of stuff going on. Obviously, we don't know. We don't know the truth about what happened.
Yes. I think until we know the truth, you're allowed to still think he's hot.
Okay, well that's lucky because I think he's incredibly hot in these ads.
Yeah,
but then I felt kind of dirty. I think you said I'd grind his beans, didn't you? Didn't you say that, Lisa?
That was a coffee reference.
I get it. I got
it. Yeah.
Do you think he's like a long, tall latte, isn't he, or something?
He's something, yeah.
It's funny, actually, because in the ad he has a cappuccino, and you just think he wouldn't have a cappuccino at all.
No, he'd have a short black.
He would, or a macchiato, or a, you know, yeah, for sure.
There's no way he'd be drinking buckets of milky coffee.
Don't you know your star?
Your celebrity coffee drinkers.
But it did make me want to get one of the machines, so it's working.
It did actually make me want to get one, yeah. They're probably about $2,000, aren't they, though?
Yeah. But it's great because he's on his bike and he picks up his beans, and then randomly he takes his bike into the bike shop and waits for the man to fix his bike. And the bike man is drinking coffee, but he doesn't give him a coffee, and he doesn't get one till he gets home. So he's had a long day already, and why is he having coffee at that time? He'll never sleep.
Oh, madness, Claire, madness. Here's another big question.
Big question.
how long, if you have an afternoon nap, how long should it be?
Well, Lisa, I have the answer to that. There's 6 rules about naps, apparently, and there is a perfect length. So the optimum time for a power nap is 20 minutes, but you need to schedule 40 minutes because you need 20 minutes to fall asleep. So you've got to give yourself a 40-minute period to have a 20-minute nap, which is the ultimate time frame.
I reckon if I was going for a nap, I would fall asleep much quicker than 20 minutes.
Maybe it's to get to the point that actually is restful as opposed to just...
Yes.
And then if you're going to have a longer nap, 2 hours.
Right.
But you've got to be careful because you don't want to wake up groggy, which I think is what you were saying before
when
to
you
me,
wake up,
off-piste.
you don't know where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you are or what your name is or who you are.
Yeah, and then they say you shouldn't eat, drink, and then go to have a nap. So you shouldn't have a big long lunch with, a couple of bottles of wine, and then not fall asleep unintentionally. But like if you go for a nap, you shouldn't.
Well, that's one of the biggest joys in life, isn't it? Having a long lunch and then having a nap.
I guess it's just you can't go to work up. You can't do something afterwards.
Oh no! You got to clear the whole day.
Yeah, afternoon naps are the best. Now, did you know about this thing called a caffeine nap? It's a thing, right? It's a trend where you have a coffee just before a 20-minute nap because caffeine takes 20 minutes to absorb into your bloodstream. So by the time you wake up, you feel twice as energized, once by the caffeine and once by the sleep.
Never heard of it.
Right, so that's a thing, right? But it's really hard to balance properly because you fuck up your timings. So either you can't fall asleep or you wake up and you've missed the opportunity to boost your performance.
And then you can have really weird, vivid dreams about, weird shit. All right, I'm off for a nap then.
I'm actually having one now as we speak.
Better finish this first. What about we do some What Hurts Now?
What hurts now?
This is for Janet.
Tell us about your poo.
Yeah, it's for Janet, our listener Janet. I just thought I'd share with you that because did I tell you that I was low in iron? Mm-hmm. Did I tell you that?
You did, but also you've told us all before. So you can, when I update my grey hair story, you can update your iron levels.
My irons. All right, deal. So I finally got to a pharmacist and bought some.
Right.
And started taking it. But when you take iron, Claire, it turns your poo a funny colour.
What colour?
Like, you think it's black. I then researched it. It's actually very dark green.
Oh, okay. Is that... Right.
Look how happy I am about that.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably more happy than you are about it because I love talking about things like this, but I know it makes you uncomfortable. But I'm curious, you know how sometimes if you eat a lot of kale or green vegetables, high iron vegetables, your poo can be quite green as well. I wonder if that's the same thing.
I've never experienced that. I've never experienced that.
Yeah, interesting.
For you, Claire.
What does that say about me? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
But I'll let you know if I feel a bit perkier with the iron.
Yeah,
or
please
if it's
do.
Just, I wonder how long it takes to kick in.
Well, I mean, you would think it would be fairly instantaneous if you were low. Like surely any raising the levels would make a difference. But
yeah.
Are you feeling less tired, more energetic?
I probably am a bit, but it might be a placebo. Who would know?
Who indeed would know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing that's hurting us.
You've got another one, yeah.
Well, it's Zoom dysmorphia.
Yes.
So it's the fact that we're all staring at ourselves for hours. We've talked about this before and how it's, really hard work looking at yourself for 8 hours a day. But apparently, because we're doing it again now, because we're all in lockdown across Australia, most of us, it's really affecting people's perceptions of their appearance. And so people are all having surgery and or queuing up to get surgery when they can after lockdowns because people are just so preoccupied with what they look like online. Isn't that sad? It's really awful. And I understand it too. Like you think you look all right and then you bad lighting in the home office or whatever and you realise the camera is so...
You haven't got your laptop up high enough and then you think, oh my God, I almost have given up looking at myself because I just can't bear it, to be honest. There was a funny meme earlier and and it was Kendall from the Met Gala and Kim from the Met Gala, and Kendall was hosting the Zoom meeting and Kim was attending a Zoom meeting.
It's pretty much so true. So it's
Yeah.
definitely like sagging skin is a thing because people are holding their. So what they think is sagging skin is literally just because you're holding your camera, your phone at the wrong angle or your computer at the wrong angle. But also image distortion with a front-facing camera means that you don't look like that. And that's really important because you just sit there. I've just turned my camera off now whenever I'm in a meeting and I say, sorry, I'm just going to turn my camera off because I'm eating or something, and because I just can't have myself. I can't stare at myself.
No, or you could do the whole, oh, my internet's not good today, so I'm turning the camera off.
That's a good one too.
What about what's made you cry this week?
It's my party and I cry if I want to.
Cry if I want to.
Cry if I want to. Yeah. What's made you cry?
Well, the Qantas ad made me cry again.
Wow. That's because you really want to go away.
I know. And my husband hadn't seen it, and then he went, "Oh, is this the ad that everyone's crying about?"
I agree.
And I was like,
10 minutes rubbish.
I was like, yeah. No. And he was like, "No."
No, I agree. Doesn't make me cry at all. What made me cry though? My cat sleeping cutely on the couch made me cry.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Yep.
Ted Lasso continues to make me cry every time I watch it. Not even at the sad bits. There's just something so. It just touches something in my heart as soon as I see it that makes me cry, and I go from crying to laughing to crying to laughing, like tears rolling down my face like a loony.
My sister-in-law, let's call her Paula, she finally succumbed and started watching it, and she's pretty much watched all of it in 2 days. It
is. It's just so amazing. I mean, everyone says it's feel good. It is feel good, but it's also quite cathartic and sort of, it does make it. Don't watch it if you don't want to have tears. And
how beautiful does it make Richmond in London look?
Oh, everything looks beautiful. And also people's houses, you go, God, when I lived in London, my house didn't look like that.
No. All right, so just to balance that, should we do some what made me laugh?
Yes.
2 things made me laugh this week.
Yeah.
One of them is the KFC ad. Have you seen the KFC ad where it's back to the Zoom? And it's a lady, and she'd be in her 50s, and she says, "Oh, apologies, I'm late. Thanks for everyone for your patience. I had quite a lot on this morning." And then this younger man comes up, and they're like, "It's Barry from accounts." And then she goes, "Hey, what KFC?" Because she's in bed with the young man, and it really makes me laugh every time I see it.
They're very clever, those ads, aren't they? All of those ones are funny.
All of them very clever. Something else that made me laugh this week was I was looking through an old hard drive for something, and I found, for some reason, I found all these performance reviews from 2012.
Ooh. And that you've done or that you had?
That I've done of other people,
right,
or that amazing. I've collated of other people. And I messaged, I'm still in touch with quite a lot of the people, and so I messaged them and said, "Do you want to laugh? Do you want your performance review from 2012?
Amazing.
And it was absolutely amazing. And like one of them was the PA at the time, and now she's super successful because it's almost 10 years, and so I sent it to her, and she said, "Oh my God, it's like getting your high school report sent to you."
So true.
And it was just, the whole thing was so fun, and made me laugh so much, because at the time you're so invested, aren't you, in these things? And then you look at
the bane of
your
life, aren't they?
Oh, the bane of your life. And then 10 years later, you're like, oh.
And obviously they had no bearing on anyone's success or failure.
No, exactly. And then on your one, it was just your name.
We obviously just went, let's go to the pub.
We obviously went, no, can't be bothered doing that. So that made me laugh a lot.
So great.
And you've got one more thing.
Oh, well, it's more of a follow-up. It's like a follow-up. It's a follow-up.
It's a follow-up.
Oh, follow-up. So remember how we talked about slits and tits?
Oh, God, yes.
I just wanted to say that again. Well, there's been a follow-up to that, which is that Ashton Kutcher, he who said he doesn't wash his kids and only washes his private area, I believe, and he, went to see a college football game in, I'm just looking to see where it was, Iowa, the University of Iowa, which is his old college. And when he got there, he was being interviewed, and the crowd behind him all started chanting, "Take a shower, take a shower," to the point where you couldn't hear him talking on the TV because the chants were so loud.
Was he laughing or not?
Apparently, he just kind of ignored it because he just couldn't. I guess you don't know
what can you say.
But apparently, they've said a few things. Like now that everyone's talking about them, they've got a bit of a sense of humour about it and have been posting their own stuff. But I just thought it was so great. Americans don't often have a sense of irony, as they say.
Irony.
But they really enjoyed taking the piss out of Ashton Kutcher, which is fun.
Well, I've got a breaking news update for you.
Oh, yes.
Kourtney Kardashian.
Yes.
She's dating Travis Barker.
Ah, yes.
From Blink 182.
Oh, is he from Blink 182? As if you were convinced of that. But that's great. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Is he the one that had the plane crash?
Yes.
Right.
And on that note...
Mm-hmm. We're going, are we?
I think we're done, yeah.
I think all the young people have already turned off, so that's fine.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lisa. That was great fun.
Thank you. And I will see you again next week, I imagine.
Yes, and come to the PDAs.
In fact, I might actually see you next week if we can go for a picnic.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if we can go for a picnic and record a podcast at the same time.
Oh, why don't you look into it?
I will.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. Come to the PDAs if you want to discuss any more things about the Met Ball or, any other stuff.
Brad Pitt,
all those points. And we'll be back next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.